have a sweet child who wants to visit. All right, she stepped away. Approval of the minutes. Do I have any comments on those minutes?
This is Katie. I'll move approval of the minutes.
Do I have a second?
This is Oaks, I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I just want to add, and Abby, if you can help me remember, the number one topic, the Muster Day Museum.
Yes.
Do we have to re-vote on that issue because of quorum? Do you remember?
I didn't think so, but I can go back and check. I would need to put it on a future agenda.
Okay.
Abby and Mayor, I thought not, because I was hoping to kind of beg off from that meeting and I wound up staying on so we could achieve quorum as I remember it.
But you weren't on video when you voted.
Right. I was on
Unfortunately.
video at some point though. When somebody told me to do it, I did it.
Right, after we voted.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wish I would have realized we needed to re-vote. So I'm just bringing it up to make sure that we are appropriate, so that if money is being moved to that
Sure.
National Master Day. So I don't think it affects notes, Abby, just so you know.
Okay.
So we can move forward with the notes approval as Alder Nelson and Ms. Oaks have made their motions. And so we'll just, if you could double check that for next time, please.
No problem.
All those in favor of approving the Community Development Authority minutes of June 8th, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda items. The first up is financial reports, and I'm going to lean on Abby for some updates.
Yes, I apologize that the report that's included in your packet is from the end of March. I checked in with finance because I used to get those every month and I haven't received one for a while. And I think it was due to a staff extended absence, but they are going to get us a new updated report for the next agenda. But the main thing that I just wanted to highlight for you all is that the snow removal information, which is included in the packet, is unfortunately accurate. We are over budget on snow removal because we had those larger snowfalls earlier this year, and we take care of the snow for all of the city buildings and sidewalks. So that means not only going out and shoveling, but they also have to go out and salt anytime that there's any bit of snow. And we had it set up where we had a facility person on staff who was doing it during the workday, but they left the city employment. So we were relying only on the consultant to take care of the snow. So it is over budget. We probably will have flexibility where we can just transfer within lines where we have savings in other lines to cover the increased cost. But as we look ahead to the budget item, we might want to increase the snow removal, or we might want to do what we've done a couple times in the past, which is to ask the city to cover that through general operating expenses.
I appreciate that update, and I see Alder Nelson and Alder Crow are on the call, so maybe they'll help me remember when we get to the budget times. I can't remember if they're on finance or not. Alder Crow, are you on finance? No. Okay.
No, I'm not.
Then maybe when it comes in front of us, we can try to remember that. So I appreciate that. All right. Do we need to make any motions on that, Abby?
No motions.
Okay. So just more information. And I think that's reasonable, especially since we had so much snow this year. So moving on to the report from the Art Walk in Middleton and the Middleton Arts Committee, May 20th.
Yes. Let me just pull up the document that I included in your packet. So the art walk went very, very well. We were really lucky this year with the weather. We had pretty much the most perfect weather we could have imagined for the event. The artists, once again, in the survey that we did, were very happy with their experience. We actually have a former member of the arts committee who participates in quite a few of these, and she mentioned that this is one of the best run events that she participates in each year, which is kind of amazing because it's really like a small group of volunteers on the arts committee that organizes the whole thing. So they put an awful lot of work into it. Katie Nelson is also on the arts committee and contributed an extraordinary amount of her time to the event as well. One of the things that we do want to try to do is to reach out to earlier for the call for artists. We had space for 50 tents and 50 artists, but we only ended up having about 30 participating. We also got some feedback that we need to get the porta potties back because people felt that it was a little too far to walk, especially I think for the people who are exhibiting, to get all the way to Capitol Brewery restrooms. So that was some good feedback. And then we also had an issue with the apartment building, Middleton Station nearby, where I don't know where the miscommunication came in, but their ownership has been very supportive of this event in the past. But for whatever reason, somehow it did not get communicated well to their tenants that the road was going to be closed. So we need to do a better job of that next year and maybe even just take the liberty of posting information on the doors of that building to make sure everybody's aware. The CDA was recognized on all of the promotional materials, which was one of the requirements of the sponsorship. And the other thing I was going to say is that one of our CDA members, Mayor Kuhn, was also exhibiting and selling her work during the event too. So that was really kind of cool that we had not only we had 2 city employees, but then we also had our mayor as some of the artists that were exhibiting. So it was really, really cool. That's all I had on that item.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be selected and to be among so many beautiful artists. And it was fun. I got to see the 2 city staff who were also showing and meet a lot of the artists. And it was just a wonderful day. So, and I saw Alder Nelson out there. She was working hard, and just thanks to everyone. And next year will be even better. So thank you for that update. Moving on to number 3, staff update on the 2023 events and event coordinator at Stone Horse Green.
Yes. At your last meeting, you gave me permission to work with a consultant to help us organize and carry out some of the events that we had already had scheduled. One of those events is tonight. However, Daphne Shu from my office is covering the event tonight because our consultant is out of town. We have an acoustic trio, and I just went by there like 10-15 minutes ago, and we had a really good full crowd despite the fact that it was raining when the event started. So that's good news. Everything should be pretty much plugged in for the summer concert series, though everything has been posted. We have Facebook events, we have posters up all over, we have a couple ads running in the Cap Times. I think we have one ad running in one of the local publications. So I think we should get a good turnout. Also, I just wanted to note that the Arts Committee is helping us out tonight. They're doing a pop-up craft project for kids, and also the library is giving away free books at the event down there tonight. So that's all I really have on Stone Horse Green.
That's wonderful. Now, I'm guessing we don't need a motion on that either.
No.
Okay. Does anybody want to add or share if anybody's been to an event or plans to go to an event?
I just want to say that next Thursday's group is that French Gypsy Swing group that was at the very opening of Stone Horse. They're amazing and I highly recommend them. I'd love to hang out with y'all down there.
I was just also going to mention that I had attended a lot of the trivia events in May and June, and we had a lot of fun and saw a lot of neighbors down there and really good feedback from the groups and wanting to do more trivia. So there's opportunities to bring back trivia. It was always a good turnout when I went and a lot of fun. So that was the feedback I said I would bring back from the trivia people.
And we have had several people email us too. I really enjoyed working with the trivia folks as well. They gave us numbers, which I think are plugged in here. So they actually counted attendees for every event. So you can see anywhere from 68 to just over 100 people in attendance. It was a great vibe. It was a lot of fun. It just shows like activity, even for people who are just visiting the downtown to like go out to eat. It's just so nice to have stuff happening down there and people of all ages enjoying themselves. So it was a lot of fun. Mayor, I did realize we have our new member here and we didn't introduce ourselves. So Laura.
A very good point. My apologies. Laura, would you like to introduce yourself for a minute? Say hello to the group.
Hi, I'm Laura Bedingfield. I've lived in Middleton for about 8 years and have 2 kids that go to school here. I used to live downtown and now I live in Fox Ridge, so we live really close to the downtown area. So that's sort of where my interest in this arose, and I'm happy to be here and happy to help.
And if I remember correctly, you're walkable to the ponds in downtown because your kids and you walk
Oh, yeah.
lots.
Yeah, that's correct. And to downtown as well.
Great,
Yep.
because we're trying to make sure everyone is able to get to events in lots of different ways. So sometimes I lean on people if they are biking and walking, and I could try that. Be a little bit of a stretch for me though. So thank you for introducing yourself, Laura.
Yep.
Okay. And next, Abby, is the initial guidance on 2024 budget.
Yes. So I wanted to just put this out there for you all to start thinking about what you want to include in your 2024 budget. I did go ahead and put the budget plan from 2023 in your packet, just to give you a reminder. The deadline for budget submittals is August 18th. So we have one more CDA meeting before then. Our next meeting would be on August 10th. So that is where I think the CDA might be ready to approve a budget. I did want to put out a couple things for your consideration. One is that we handle the planters that are along Terrace Avenue near the Terrace Avenue Pavilion. And when that pavilion was put in, that we funneled all of the water and collected it into an underground cistern that is used to then pump water to all of the planter baskets. So those planters are watered with rainwater rather than water through the city's wells. And there is a leak in the cistern. And because of the leak, it is causing it so that somebody has to actually go up and fill up the cistern. And also if the level of the water goes below a certain level, then we have to go out and have somebody reprime the pump. So I did get a cost estimate for what it would cost to repair the cistern. We initially were hoping to go in with our engineering department because they had some other projects and we thought, oh, well, we can get economies of scale if we can toss it in, but their project fell through. So one of our engineering technicians did get a cost estimate for me from a local company, and it's $4,895 to fix the cistern. So I think it needs to be done. What we had originally estimated and what was included in your budget was, I think, $2,000 for that, which obviously is not going to be enough. Yeah, we included $2,000. So something you might want to consider whether you think we should go ahead and get it done this year, or if we should include it in the budget for next year and just keep paying the local landscaping company to come out and do the watering. And then the other item I wanted to put out there is that our tourism department years ago, probably 10 plus years ago, 2 directors ago, took out a storage unit to store banners, the street banners, and also the holiday lights, like lit wreaths. And they have always paid that cost. But at the beginning of this year, the tourism director sent me an email and she said they were not going to be paying that cost anymore and they wanted the CDA to cover it. And I indicated that that was not included in the CDA budget. I can't, I'm in a meeting. And so we wouldn't be able to take that on. And she asked if I could have it considered for the budget for 2024. And then she also emailed the company to say that they weren't going to be paying that cost anymore for the storage unit. So we can't store them at our municipal operations center because we have a private company called PKK Lighting that goes around and does all the replacement of the banners, and they need to be able to access the building when it's convenient for them, and we can't allow them to access the city building when there aren't city people there. So that cost, if we decided to do it, is $1,260. But then it kind of made me think, well, you know, like maybe we should do a more big picture, like what the CDA is doing, using its money on, and whether the banners are a priority and the holiday lights are a priority, because we really, you know, taking a step back, we haven't really done that in a long time, where we've taken a look at all of the costs and decided what we want to focus on. So that's all I have.
Carrie, would you like to speak?
Yeah, thanks. Regarding the cistern, out of curiosity, Abby, where is it? How big is it? And what are the materials?
I wish I could tell you, but let me see if the quote maybe has.
That's
some of
okay.
that.
I mean, or just like if you wanted to send it along or put it in the minutes or
Okay,
something.
I know where it is. It's very close to the Terrace Avenue Pavilion in the public right of way. I think it's actually under the street. It
Sorry.
might be under the terrace though. So it's very close to the Terrace Avenue Pavilion. I don't know what the materials are, how big it is.
I just was wondering, I mean, $4,800 is not like the end of the world in terms of money, but also whether there's any opportunity for above ground water collection. But then you would have to probably water by hand, and probably those costs would be, you know, any savings by doing that would be absorbed over 2 or 3 years of labor, I'm guessing.
I would like to just add on the question of how much over was our snow plow, or our snow plowing. And the reason I'm asking is that the snow removal hasn't increased in budget estimates since at least 2020. And with inflation, I mean, it might just depend on how many snowfalls we have. But if it was 10% more, then you might just want to look at upping things at 10%. Understanding that if you have the sign storage and the cistern or some variation like Carrie was saying, that might be your 10% budget increase overall. So it's a give take. Alder Nelson.
I almost forgot my question. Can I have a second? It's about the cistern. Just give me a second. Sorry.
I'll just fill for you, okay? Think about it.
I have a question if nobody else has their hand raised while Katie is contemplating. If I
Yes,
could.
go ahead.
Why is tourism not paying for this anymore? What's their rationale? They just don't feel like it, or like it doesn't work for them, or what?
I think they feel like it's more tied to the maintenance of the banners, which like putting them up and taking them down is the part that the CDA covers, whereas they cover the initial fabrication and they do all the graphic layout and the photographs that are selected. So they kind of do the upfront, but they want the ongoing maintenance to be covered by the CDA.
Okay, thank you.
I think I've got it now.
Alder Nelson, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I wonder how long the cistern has lasted before it started leaking.
It was put in 2010.
So pretty good. And it's a pretty great example of using our sustainable practices that we want to do. I'm hoping we can come up with a budget, the budget to fix it. Okay, I think that was my question. Thanks. And I'm glad Kari asked about why tourism isn't going to pay for that. That just seems interesting that they didn't even wait. They called the storage company and said, hey, yeah, no, we're not paying for that. So it was just like totally took it off their plate. And now it's really on ours. Interesting. I wonder if there's a creative idea. Is there any place for it in like the senior center or something? I know you don't want them going into a city business, but a city building, but is there a better option that we already have?
What's the volume we're talking about? Sorry to barge in, but
Yeah.
It's not that much. I mean, honestly, like if you had a large walk-in closet, like in your bedroom, it would be enough to store everything. It's
Or
not that
Stone
much.
Horse.
Stone Horse, unfortunately, we don't have, I mean, we just like cleaned out that closet and we really don't have any extra space. I did have one idea, which is that the city just bought the building that has auto color and there is an empty bay, but honestly, it's like 6,000 square feet. So it would be a real drastic underutilization of the piece of, that space, and it would only last until we decided to take the building down because we're putting a park in that spot.
I have another clarifying question.
Mhm.
You said that they were renting a spot. It's not on site at the tourism place. Is that accurate?
That's correct. Yeah, it's like a mini storage unit.
Maybe Alder Nelson and Alder Randall and I could talk about it, because when they come in front and when the director comes in front of us, if we're funding it and they're just the one who's managing it, like it could be that they assumed that that money was theirs, but then if they're not doing it, we would just cut it and then move the money to the CDA. Somebody has to fund that money. So that could be just something that we look at, as if the money is needed and they said, we're not paying it anymore, we're keeping that money. Well, if it was, the intent was what that budget line was, then we can shift it.
Good point. That's interesting. Yeah.
So we can talk about that maybe at the next one and think through that, or run that, have Abby think through it. I'm sorry, do you still have a
well,
question?
the only other quick like brainstorming thing is whether any of the larger Middleton facilities, like some of the bigger businesses, or something like, for example, a hotel that ran 24/7 has room in a closet anywhere. I don't think it would be too conflicted given the nature of the property that we're talking about, but just an idea.
I always like saving money, but it might have to be a budget line. So I'm unclear, but I like to save a penny, so that's cool. Alder Nelson, your hand is up.
Yeah, and always easiest if we can, just have the budget thing in there. But if there's this free bay at Autocolor, even if it's just tiny, like 6 wreaths in a pile in the corner, hey, as long as it's tidy and it's accessible by PKK and it's free, who knows? Maybe it's an easy, super easy solution, even if it's just for a few months.
I can look into it. and give you more info at your next meeting. I can go and like see the space and look around and see if it looks like there's a good spot for it.
And sorry, follow up. Are we the ones that would buy new wreaths and banners, etc.? Or is that tourism? Kari's going,
Takes
no
care of
way.
Yeah, tourism takes care of the banners because they do the photo shoots, and then they select the photos that are displayed on the banners, and then they have the new banners fabricated. The holiday decor, we've had that forever. The only investment that's been made in it is we did convert it to LED, use LED lights, but it's been the same wreaths and lights for a very long time. I doubt tourism would think that that puts heads in beds, but I could inquire with them to see if they would pay for the cost to get new holiday decorations, if that's what you're getting at.
Kind of is what I'm getting at.
I'm guessing that they have a definition of what generates additional overnight stays, and they keep pretty strict to that. So my guess is that they would say no, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Okay. And then maybe as we think about our budget for August, or as we set it together, maybe there are a couple of things that we should add to the budget to decorate Stone Horse. Just
Good
putting
idea.
it. Thanks.
I appreciate that because I really enjoyed the holiday lighting ceremony and its change of location to Stone Horse Green. I always liked the downtown City Hall area, especially the lighting of the tree. But Stone Horse Green is so much bigger that, and I think it was creative the way that that Santa ran through the middle of Stone Horse Green. But definitely refreshing some of those holiday decorations might help because it's just such a great space that what we had before just, I think, didn't go as far. So maybe that's how we can think about that. And if anyone has a thought on that, you can share now, or you can share with Abby. And I'm just saying, because I'm guessing that a few of you were there last year for the changed location and something might strike you. So with that, Abby, do we have anything else on the initial guidance? And by the way, before she answers, I see Andrea is at Stone Horse Green. So thank you for being there tonight.
How many people are there, Andrea?
Oh, she's trying. I think you might be on mute.
I don't know how to take myself off mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So my paying job is actually moderating focus groups, and I have people on their phones on Zoom all the time in focus groups doing exactly what I just did, and I never know how to help them. So now I do. So thank you. It's full. It's a very lively crowd. I had to move away from it right now because the music's too loud to hear, but there are a lot of people out. Everybody's having a good time.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that you're live. That's awesome.
So for our next meeting on August 10th, would you want to try to do hybrids where we could like maybe do a working session on the budget and spend a little bit of extra time in case there are some questions that I need to like dig up on in our accounting software and that kind of thing? Would that work out? Okay. Sorry, I couldn't do any in person tonight. I was running my children and I literally walked in the door of my house 2 minutes before I needed to start the meeting. So
no need to worry. You're good. So it works for this one, and just for the next one, make sure we check on that one item from the last minutes. And that initial guidance, I think you already have some good ideas from the group. So thanks to everyone for sharing that. With that, and Abby, if you have to be hybrid in August, I'm okay with that. I can be there. My kids might be at the library. It'll be fine. And see, what am I thinking? I think that's it. So we're moving on to adjourning. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I can make a motion to adjourn. This is Carrie. Lori.
Thank you, Carrie. Do I have a second?
This is Randall. I'll second that.
Thank you, Randall. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of moving to adjourn, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes and we are adjourned. Have a wonderful night. Thanks to everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.